Hi there! Welcome to Pallet University and the start of a new series on the channel. We've had quite a few new subscribers over the last handful of months, and I really want to keep that kind of growth going. So if you're one of the over 50% of my viewers who are not subscribed, make sure to hit that button down below as well as the like button. Also, you can help me beat the YouTube algorithm by leaving a comment down below as well. In this series, we're going to be talking about some of the biological aspects of the powers Pokemon have based on their types. For example, how can fire types survive such extreme temperatures, and how do electric type Pokemon generate their electricity? Some types are much more straightforward than others, so this will really test my biological knowledge. Today we're going to be starting off the way that 7 out of the 8 regional Pokédexes do, with the grass type. Now this might seem relatively simple in that grass type Pokemon are just plants, right? Like, duh, Gavin, of course grass-type Pokemon are plants. Well, just over half of them actually seem to be based off of animals rather than based off of plants. 57 out of the 106 total grass types. The 49 more plant-like grass-type Pokemon pretty much are that simple, in that they basically work like real-life plants do. Most likely, they work kind of similarly to air plants from the genus Tillandsia, a group of plants that don't really have roots. They have very minimal roots, only used to hold on to things, not to absorb nutrients. But so these air plants get their nutrients from the air, which is where they get their name. But what about the more animal-like grass-type Pokemon? I've actually talked about this process before on the channel in this video about Galarian Corsola. Corals, and a few species of clams, are the only known animals to perform photosynthesis like plants do. Well, not the animals themselves, but microscopic protists called dinoflagellates that live inside their tissues. The coral animal itself is clear. It's basically an upside-down jellyfish that doesn't move, which is why when corals bleach, they turn white. These dinoflagellates are what give corals such beautiful colors, but when the corals bleach, these dinoflagellates leave, and what you see is the calcium carbonate skeleton underneath. These dinoflagellates require very specific environmental conditions in order to function properly, which is why corals are so susceptible to things like climate change. However, it's possible that each species of grass-type Pokemon might have sort of its own unique type of dinoflagellate that is uniquely adapted to the environment that that Pokemon is found in. Or potentially it could have multiple species of dinoflagellate that all live inside of it, where one works at this set of environmental conditions, this other species of dinoflagellate works at this other set of environmental conditions, so the Pokemon can move around while still having full access to the benefits of these dinoflagellates. These dinoflagellates perform photosynthesis for the Pokemon, allowing it to, say, boost its speed when it's sunny out, or give it a quick boost of health. Now, these dinoflagellates would have to be very close to the surface of a Pokemon's skin in order for it to actually work. You know, that's the reason why the actual coral animals are so small, and also why they're transparent, is because without these dinoflagellates, corals die very quickly. Not immediately, which is why corals sort of can be revived if they're bleached, if you act quickly enough. But they'd have to be very close to the surface of the skin, which is why a lot of grass-type Pokemon are the color that they are, which is usually green. When it comes to some of the leafy parts of some grass-type Pokemon's anatomy, such as Tropius's wings or Venusaur's flower and vines, I think that those aren't actual plants. I think those are just sort of very specialized parts of their anatomy that are used to give the dinoflagellates more surface area to perform photosynthesis, which is why, things like a lot of tropical plants have really broad leaves, because the broader the leaf, the more surface area that their chloroplasts have, the more surface area that is able to perform photosynthesis. Although, there is sort of a precedent for plants growing on animals, but it is really loose. Sloths actually grow algae in their fur, and this is sort of a mutualistic thing because the algae turns their fur sort of greenish and helps them hide in the treetops, whereas the algae gets all the nutrients that they need from the sloth. But the thing is, algae aren't plants. They are also a type of protist like dinoflagellates, and they don't provide a change to the sloth's physiology, only sort of its aesthetics. So, like I said, that's a very loose sort of jump from algae growing on sloths to plants integrated into the biology of an animal. Or in this case, Pokemon. So, there you have it. Some grass-type Pokemon truly are just plants that can absorb nutrients from the air, but some others are just basically sentient corals that live on land. Keep an eye out for the next episode in this series where we talk about water types and how they can seemingly just create water out of thin air. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe down below, and also make sure to let me know down in the comments what you think of this hypothesis. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Pallet_U to keep up on all things Pokemon science, and as always, there's a time and place for everything.